Your friendships do change, and that's a lot of a fear that people don't know about self-development and life transformation is you come into a new different energy. You know, I used to have a best friend that we used to go drinking buddies. I don't drink anymore. How do you maintain a friendship?
I am so excited and deeply grateful to have such an inspiring, uplifting, and bright shining guest on the show. Clarice, thank you so much for being here and welcome to Empowering Vibez.
Hello, welcome myself. I'm so excited to be here, to be in your energy and to give the listeners what they need to hear.
Yes, I'm so excited too. And I would like to start with when we look on your Instagram or actually also your podcast, we see you with pink and yellow hair, with colorful eyeshadows, with like wearing super bright, colorful dresses and shirts, and just the feeling that, or the vibe that you're putting out is that you truly found who you are and you are really embracing that. So I would like to start with the question of how can we figure out who we really are inside? Besides all the conditioning, besides everything, like how can we kind of get rid of all these and find our core inside, our core personality, and then get the courage to embrace that?
Oh, what a question, girl. Like, so to understand my vibrancy, my authenticity, myself that you are currently seeing and hearing from, I have to take you slightly back for you to get an understanding of what it takes to bring yourself from one space to another. So to step into this empowerment, the future self, higher self, the full potential, right? It's what people want. We all want it. Don't say you don't. We do. But back in the day, I was not this vibrant, outgoing person because I suffered extreme anxiety from what I had experiences growing up in my childhood. I had a great childhood, by the way, but in my teenage years, parents started arguing. Lots of really challenging, traumatic events came through where I was very needy and desperate for love and attention from others. But it wasn't, we send love to this version of me as well, because she didn't know that it was even possible or capable to cultivate that for herself. So we learn from our parents, their behaviors, their triggers, their beliefs. Like we all hold that, right? Those are our mentors, whoever they are, our parents or carers or friends that we surround ourselves by. We embody these beliefs like, okay, money mindset, manifestation, all these things. You become what your parents believe. I don't necessarily believe what my parents believe anymore. I found my own voice, right? And it's finding about your own voice. And for me, I was at a job I hated. Oh my gosh, hated this job. I was surrounded by really disrespectful, negative, like women who are a lot older than I was. And it's like that wound of the sisterhood, like women can't work together. Like we've got to fight against one another. And it just was such a toxic environment. And it wasn't until I was like, okay, if I don't do something, I was crying every night, panic attacks. I felt like I didn't have the steering wheel of my life. I felt like I was the passenger the entire time. And I was just looking over to this other person who was driving, who was feeding me. Like I always say, it's like a carbon copy of myself, like my old version, who's this inner critic who's like, you look like shit. We're going this way because I'm telling you. And you ain't driving. You ain't driving your life, okay? There is something else in charge here, and that is your belief system. Those are those things, those negative thoughts and beliefs, they're driving. And it wasn't until I was like, can I swear?
Of course.
Amazing. Just checking.
Talk however it feels authentic to you.
So for me, I remember like there was that switch. I was looking at this girl driving and I was like, you know what? I am fucking done. Get in the boot, sis. Like I'm done listening to you and your negativity. I can't do this anymore. So I like pulled her in the boot and she's kicking off and she's going, hey man, I've been in charge this entire time. And I'm like, that's cute, sis. Get in. Boot closed, got in the car and I was like, oh, I feel like a weight has come off my shoulders. I get to drive. I get to go where the fuck I want to go. I want to do what I want. I'm not listening to what other people are telling me to do anymore. Like, you should do this. And have you thought about doing that? No, I'm going to be the bloody driver. I'm going to drive my life because at the end of the day, it's mine. Right. So it was that moment, and that looks differently. And I know I'm speaking, metaphorically here. That moment for me was learning mindset tools to adapt myself and step into life transformation. You cannot create a life from a place of lack, fear, scarcity, doubt, and negativity. You must move forward. And it's scary, and there'll be resistance with this because it's all you've known. But when you step into that next level self, you will ask yourself, why the hell did I wait as long as I did? Oh my gosh. Like, what? So that looks like, you know, trusting, even if you don't trust yourself, trusting yourself that you've got your back and that you need to move through things and let go of things in order to accept that next level life. There was a lot of letting go for me, like a lot of letting go and showing up for myself. That's when things started to shift.
Beautiful. What were those tools that helped you?
So the first real tool for me, especially with my anxiety, was meditation. Meditation was the gateway for me. Meditation for me was like, imagine you've been viewing the world from a very small pair of binoculars, okay? And that's to do with your like how you view the world, your perspective. And meditation for me was like, fuck these. Getting out like these huge, bright, colorful binoculars, and you could see the world for so much more than it was. Oh my gosh, like I was more focused, calm, panic attacks stopped. I was able to know what I wanted because I at least sat with myself and asked myself, what do I actually want? And then it would come through to me. It's a way of just calming this little monkey mind that loves to, like, you know, without the meditation, she would be out of the boot of the car she'd be driving. There's times where I've stopped meditation for a couple of weeks and she's like crawling back out and I'm like, no, get back in. No, we ain't going back to that, right? So meditation was the absolute gateway for me and like my own journey. And it may be different for other people just because it's my story and what came good for me. It might not work for others. It's just what sets my soul on fire and what worked for me. So yes, sitting with yourself, breathing. And it's like, you're training your mind. Everyone is so fixated on going to the gym and training the muscles, the body, the physical. Sis, you go to the gym and you're like, oh, I'm tired. I can't do this because your mind is taking over. Get this bad boy on your back, like supporting you. Oh my God, you can do anything you want. It's true.
I agree 100%. So meditation was one. What else did help you?
So it was almost as, and I have to say this hand on heart, is finding someone who embodies the energy I want to embody. So you have to almost pull the chair out next to someone who has what you want and being like, okay, I'm pulling out the chair. What the fuck did you do in order to get where you are? Because I want what you have. I put myself in circles of powerful, confident women who also wanted to have each other's backs, surrounding yourself with that beautiful connection that you know, when you've got things like each week, you are challenged each week. You need a community of people you can go to sit and go, oh my God, this has challenged me so much this week. What would you guys do? Because I don't know what to do. And then you go, right, so if you go to these women, they're going to like, you need strong role models. If you're going to someone at work and you're telling them this, they're not your therapist. They're not your coach. You know, they don't know all the right things and you're seeking it in the wrong places. You want the answers. You have to seek it with people who already have it, who already gained it. You go to work and you're asking, I don't know, some random person at work and she's like, I'm really sorry. I don't know. That's really tough. And you're like, this is unhelpful. I'm looking for answers and I need some guidance here, true guidance. And not only is it sitting in that level of people believing in you, it's like they say, so this is something I learned on my journey and I was like, oh, damn, this is so true. The people you surround yourself by, the table of people in your life that you put your energy around, you will become that sixth person. So if you hang out with 5 drug dealers, you'll be the 6th. You must be very, very careful with who you listen to, who you share your goals and dreams with, because isn't it easy to share a goal or a dream and someone who doesn't feel that way or has like lack or self-worth and they can't see themselves doing that can destroy your dream in an instant. Share it with people who care, share it with people who get it, who want that. And that was a massive contender for me, being around people. And I'll be honest, I've healed way too much. Because you get to a point where you surround yourself with other people and you're like, I can't, no. I need to be with people who have a higher conscious state, who really are looking for achievement and doing something meaningful in the world, you know, like ambition, like really ambitious women. I can't surround myself anymore with people who want to talk about the drama at work. No, I don't settle for that kind of energy. So it's almost understanding what you are, you get what you tolerate.
Yes, very, very true. So I want to dive deeper on that, because yes, there's one thing where we notice like, hey, actually I have a boundary, and hey, actually this is not okay. But then to actually act on it and to like speak up for yourself and so on, like especially lots of us are like people pleaser and trying to make other people happy, because sometimes, you know, it's one thing if the person that kind of crosses your boundary is a coworker you don't really care about. But sometimes it's the people that are closest to us, and they don't do it intentionally. They love us deeply, but it's kind of like they project their fears onto us, or they just don't notice our fears. So my question to you is, how can we actually establish these healthy boundaries and communicate them well?
So I resonate with this on such a high level, because I'm your recovered people pleaser. I was the OG, do anything they wanted, whatever they said when, because it was my survival mode. People pleasers do it because they want to, you know, receive love and validation from that person, because they don't know how to give it to themselves. And the best thing about this is you can give it to yourself. So I resonate massively with this question. It's an amazing question. My thoughts with boundaries is, yes, work, family, all the things. A boundary is like when you're driving your car and you've got the road and it says road closed. Okay, that's you going, hey, here's my red cone. This is my boundary. Now, people who aren't used to you having boundaries and taking care of yourself are going to look at that cone and go, what? This wasn't here before. I'm gonna move it. Can I do what I want? Because we've always done what we want. And it's very you kindly going, I see that, I know that. But what's interesting is I'm just going to put this cone back. It's not going to feel good to me. And I know you understand that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it's not, boundaries aren't a way of going, fuck you, get out my energy. Blah. You know, boundaries are a very loving way to that person that you recognize it's not to do with you. It never has been. It's a mirror. It's their fears, their perceptions, their doubts, their insecurities. It has nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. But what is your business is that you recognize and you keep putting the cone back. People are going to keep moving it. It's exhausting, honestly, when you start. But then over time, they come up and they go, oh yeah, fair enough. I can't go down that road. You know, she's set a very firm boundary. And that for me was a very difficult stage, especially moving through self-love and like showing up for myself in such a different way. It's hard. You know, you care for these people, these friendships and all the things. I used to drive. I was 2 hours away from my hometown. I used to drive 2 hours down, and I would go to 4 different places to visit all these people, because, you know, I'd be like, oh, I want to see you. I want to, you know, make you happy, and I want to spend time with you and all the things. And then I drive 2 hours back. I was so tired. I was so burnt out. And there I am having panic attacks. Like, no, you know, it has to be a 50-50 relationship. You can't be the doormat for everyone, because they'll use you like the doormat that you are. You need to, unfortunately, in order to protect yourself and create a more beautiful relationship with those people around you, the ones that care for you will stay. And the rest of them, let the trash take out itself. So that would be kind of my go-to and personal experience. And this comes up a lot. We're not taught how to set boundaries. Nobody taught us how to love ourselves and take care. No one taught us self-care. Wait, I can go and have a bubble bath? I can do that for myself? Like, no, we as a child, share. You must care for others. Of course, that is a huge point, but not to the point where you are overdoing it yourself. You know, that care needs to also be brought back to you. The love that you give to others must be back, you know?
Absolutely. Especially if you keep like giving out of a place of lack and kind of like boundaries being crossed, what's happening is actually that you're creating resentment towards the other person. And that is not love towards the other person. That's actually very unfair to the other person. And I think boundaries are such a beautiful expression of self-love. And that's what helped me to kind of establish boundaries, because I always thought, oh, I'm such like, I want to give and I want to like be kind and all these kind of things. But then actually I started to understand, but by not having these boundaries, I'm totally not kind to myself. I'm so totally not loving to myself. And when that clicked, it was so much easier for me to say no to certain things.
Yeah, that resonates massively. And it's interesting you say that, because what you don't realize is it can work both ways. So instead of running yourself under the ground, trying to help others and make people feel good, if you focus on yourself, you raise the energy within you, and they come and hang out with you, they're going to benefit. They're going to love it. They're going to be like, this is so good. I love hanging out with her. Gosh, she's got such an energy. She's got a great sense of energy and all the things. So you do a disservice to yourself. And like you said, others. Serve yourself first. And it's like the airplane. Sort yourself out first before you sort out your child. There's a reason why. Like, breathe the air first for yourself, and then you can help others around you. It's not that I don't do that now. That's a huge part of my business and what I do and what I cultivate for other women who are looking to step into this space. But I can't show up if I'm not doing that myself. I can't be like, go do all these amazing like mindset tools. I don't do them. Of course I do, every single day. My goodness. I have to be in a great energy for other people. I fill my own cup before I pour it into others. I still pour into others, just you don't get the whole cup.
Absolutely. And instead of pouring from an empty cup, you actually pour from a filled cup. And that's a huge difference. Yeah,
no one can drink from the empty cup, sis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's one thing to understand all these things rationally, but then in everyday life to actually act on these things, it's so challenging, and it takes a while until it's part of your new identity. So for
100%.
Everybody listening or watching, be patient with yourself. This is a total process. And I remember when I started to, I used to have time all the time for everybody. I have a huge circle of friends, and it was almost like a full-time job next to my full-time job or next to building my business to take care of everybody and see everybody and make everybody feel seen and just appreciated, and that I make time for that person. And at some point I noticed I'm so burned out. And I started to say no to certain things. And I said, no, this time I'll stay home. I won't come to that party, dinner, whatever it was. And I remember feeling so guilty. And I think what's important to notice or to mention is that I think this is part of the process. So for somebody watching or listening, please don't expect it to be okay, you just switch and all of a sudden you say no, and it's all unicorn and rainbows. And from now on, you're the boundary boss and so on. I had to probably for almost a year sit with this feeling of guilt because my whole system was so programmed on pleasing others and just saying yes to everything. And I knew inside that saying no right now because I needed rest or I needed an evening for myself or just me and my husband or whatever it was the right decision. And still my whole system and my mind was oh my gosh, how can you do this? How can you put yourself first? And I just want to underline that it's not such an easy switch. And if you notice that, don't feel guilty. Be kind with yourself through that process, because it is a process and not a one-time flip.
It is 100% a process. Like you said, no magic wand, no fairy godmother. Sorry, Disney. We have to do it ourselves, and it is a practice. But it's in the universe. I swear, man, you start embodying it and the universe goes, are you sure? Because I'm going to throw another challenge and another one because I'm testing you. You tell me if you really want this or not. And to start saying no is the new yes. I'm sorry. We've all been there where we said yes to an event where we were deep down, we were oh, I really don't want to go and I'm so tired and work has been so frustrating this week. And I don't want to miss out because, if I'm not there, then I'm not there and I miss out on all the inside jokes. Say no. and this is like one of the things I've been embodying for the past 5 years. If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. No, no, no. Because your energy is sacred. It doesn't matter if you miss out. It doesn't matter if you miss the party. Because at the end of the day, you're going to go to that party and you're going to be like absolute dog shit. Your energy is going to be trash. So you're literally going to be in this environment. And all these people are like, God, you know, hate hanging out with so-and-so. They've had a really rough week this week and they can't stop talking. Like, no one's going to like that energy that you're in. So why show up in that energy, right? So even if you question an event, even if it doesn't feel like set your soul on fire, when someone says, oh my God, we're doing this, do you want to do it? And if you go, oh, I don't know, should I? That's a no. Yeah. Like if you're like, oh my God, yes. I'd love that. You know what? There's this cocktail bar. Can we go to a cocktail bar? I don't want to go to a sleazy club. That's not my energy right now. Can we go to a nice cocktail bar? And I'm like, yes, I need that. It's going to raise my energy. I love hanging out with that person. Life is too short to start saying yes to things that you don't want to do.
Thank you so much for sharing. I would like to talk back to when you talked about like you set yourself in the driver's seat, you know, and you started to meditate and hear kind of like, okay, that's what I actually want out of my life. So you start to create inside this knowledge and this wisdom of like, okay, this is how I want to build my life. But how do you actually act on it? Because in my experience, there's so much self-doubt and so much old conditioning and so many programs coming. How did you manage to, even though you had all the conditioning and programming, to still be in charge of where the car is going?
100%. And it's definitely a trial, phase and error. That it's like the car's your life, you know? I've always said that the people I've worked with, my coaches, like they gave me my car where I was like, I get to have a car. And then my other coach was like, here's your engine, here's the paint. I'm like, I get to paint it? Ooh, it's exciting. But yes, you have these old stories and patterns you're so used to. And it does feel like a battle sometimes, especially with my anxiety. Like, oh my gosh, when you realize that there's an inner critic and an inner best friend, it's about moving away from the inner critic, not listening to that. There are two voices here. As long as you know there are two voices and one of them isn't you, that's not your fucking voice, then it doesn't have power over you anymore. That my clients lose their mind when I tell them that. They're like, oh my God, I feel a wave of relief. Wait, so these thoughts that I'm thinking isn't me. I'm like, no, that's your ego mind trying to hold you back and keep you, you know, where you've been, but it's not going to keep you happy. Like, gosh, no, you'd be staying exactly where you are if you listen to that voice. But you're in a best friend. There's love, there's guidance. You know, you don't, for me, when I started meditating, that inner critic, it's not going to work. Why are you wasting your time? Look at the time. You haven't got time for this. Oh, isn't it funny how it's short and simple? Whereas the inner best friend goes, shush. I've said that to my inner critic before. I've gone, no, stop. I'm not listening to you. I refuse to. You have not served me for my best interest. Thank you for your comment, but I refuse to take that advice. And that inner best friend goes, you've got this. This is so good for you. You know that you're going to feel freaking fire after this meditation. You're showing up in a different way. This is a new version. We're embodying a new person. That voice, I can't even hear that voice anymore. The like inner best friend is so loud. It's a vibe. Like me and her are I was like at the gym yesterday and I was like on the treadmill. I was listening to my music and I was like, oh, I'm kind of semi-dancing on, you know, when you want to strut on the treadmill, like runway. And I was like, people are going to judge you and all this. And I'm like, psh, hey, they're going to want to be a part of this vibe. Like I was like, hey, like loving it. A little bit of Lady Gaga going on. And it's just celebrating the true, authentic you, that voice, that inner best friend. That's who you are. That she's there. She's just, unfortunately, she's clouded by the inner critic who's so loud and dominating, and that monkey who's like destroying everything. And it's about picking up that monkey and going, and back down. The monkey goes, no, I'm going to climb. And you go, no, no, no. And you put them, it's a practice. It is a practice. Your brain works on patterns. So of course you're going to be used to the negativity. Of course you're going to be addicted to the negativity. It is the hardest part is moving out of that. When you do, it's so easy. So much easier. You just have to get past that point, and it's really not the easiest part. I'm not selling it as easy.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I love also the authenticity that it's not so easy. And I think that is so important on this whole personal growth and personal development journey to share as well, because sometimes we hear all these people and like, yes, and then this and this and this and and it seems like it's such a like easy path, and it's not, because we have to change ourselves, and like our whole system is just primed on staying the way we are, because that's how we are safe. So personal growth is basically putting our system into danger. That's what we symbolize to our body and to our primal brain. And so I really appreciate that you were sharing this so authentically. Thank you so much.
No, I'm absolutely so grateful to. And it's that's when it hits now to the Instagram, the colorful clothing, like when, like you said, self-development is like almost standing over a cliff. And someone says, you're going to land on your feet. I know it's really scary and there's going to be resistance and fear here. But as soon as you take that leap, that first leap, you want to take other leaps. You do one and you're like, give me 5 more. I'm ready to jump again. It's like when you're like, when you're a baby, you know, when you started to learn how to walk for the first time, you know, you got up on your feet and you fell down. But just because you fell down didn't mean that you went, oh, you know what? Walking ain't for me. I'm going to stay back. Yeah, I'm just going to stay on the floor. Everyone else is doing it really well. It's not for me. No, you got back up, but you tried over and over again. And it is a process. And I do, honestly, I have to say, you must find someone that you feel safe with, that suits your aesthetic, that you look at, hear the voice, like just the information that comes out is really like truly what you're seeking. Who you follow is a mirror of what you are looking for. So I love when I get a follow online, because I know that person sees something in me that they want for themselves. So that's very special. The colorful clothing, everyone's like, oh my God, I love your wardrobe. And I'm like, it's literally like a bag of Skittles, like just broke loose in my wardrobe. I wish I could bring it out to you now and show you, but just imagine like all the colors of the freaking rainbow, man. Because I used to dress in very dark colors, and I love that I'm not wearing anything particularly vibrant right now, but it's still my trusted divine timing.
And your headphones.
And my headphones. And I got all the color in the background. But for me, when I shifted out of that old state, I was like, I do want to wear these things. And no, not everyone wears them, but you know what? That's okay too, because that's me. This is my authentic self, my higher self. I've had visualizations of this most beautiful clothing, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's my embodiment. It's what I want to step into. The amount of DMs that I get, where do you shop? I love that. And it's like, people look at these things and they truly, deep down, they want it, but they stick with blacks, grays, beige. And if that suits you, if that's your niche, that's your go-to, that sets your soul on fire, that's you. But for me, I got rid of my blacks, my grays, my boring, and I spiced it up. And it's just, I put my clothes on, and that for me is me. And I'm starting to step into more like, you know, fire race patterns and checkers and stripes, and I love it. And it's like a mood, like it's a mood for me. I feel empowered when I'm in my clothing. So yeah, everyone who did my meditation program, I wore all the most insane outfits, and they're like, this is such a vibe. I love this program. And I'm like, this isn't about the meditation, guys. You're just loving the outfits. It was just great. But I struggle, you know, I do struggle. And this has been something for me now in winter here in the UK. My recent struggle is I can't find anything that I want, because it's all very dark and grey. I went to 5 different shops the other day, and I was like, nothing here is connecting. Nothing is feeling authentic. I'm just going to have to keep looking for things that suit what I'm looking for. And it is unique and it is different, but my God, do I feel fire in it? And I'm going to listen to that. Like, I don't care about what people think, because I know deep down, they're like, damn, I wish I could wear that too. Yes, you can. Of course you can. But you're worried about the fears of what other people think of you. You know, that survival instinct of like in the pack, you know, back in the cave days where we all survived in groups. But like now, you don't need to be in groups to survive. You get to do it on your own. You can do it on your own. Doesn't mean you will. But yeah, I think it's a very special thing. Anyone who goes on my Instagram will see it instantly.
Absolutely. Plus, if you allow yourself to be your true authentic self, you will attract the people who are like you. So yes, you might repel some people who are actually like the past version of you. But if you embrace this true you and this true version of yourself, then you will automatically attract like exactly the people who embrace that too. And
Exactly.
that is a feeling like when you really connect with like-minded people, that makes you feel so whole and alive and vibrant. And it's just so beautiful to have conversations like this, even though we kind of don't even know each other. It's kind of like such a deep connection just because we shared the same passion and the same path. And I feel like that is kind of like the pain of maybe losing certain people of life, or just kind of creating more distance. You know, they might still stay in your life, but you're not as close to them as you used to be. I feel these new relationships that are coming into your life, which are so much more authentic and true, that covers up the pain, and just that makes it also worth it.
So much. Your friendships do change. And that's a lot of a fear that people don't know about self-development and life transformation, is you come into a new, different energy. You know, I used to have a best friend that we used to go drinking buddies. I don't drink anymore. How do you maintain a friendship with someone that you've had for years being the drinking buddy, and then you show up and you're like, I don't drink anymore? And they're like, well, how the hell do you manage and maintain? And it's not that these people need to be in your life forever. These people are meant to come into your life as a chapter. And the ones that are truly meant to stick with you stay. You must hold on to the friendships that feel good. They trust you. There's a really beautiful divine connection between the both of you. It's incredibly led. You know, if it's always a negative conversation, I used to have this friend from uni, and she would phone me, wouldn't ask once, hey, how are you? Oh, how's your week been? No. Oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened, Clarice. Drama. Wants to talk about the drama, wants to share it. Every phone call. I stopped answering the calls. I wonder why. Because I was like, this isn't serving me. I feel awful after we come off these calls together. And it's not that I don't love her and still care for her and I still wish her the best in life. Oh my gosh. It's just that energy isn't serving what I'm trying to cultivate. You know, I want to be around. Of course, we're allowed bad days, but you start to notice people who use you, who come to you because it's easy. So I'm gonna phone this person because I'm gonna dramatize, and because I don't want a solution. I just want to bitch about it. You know, no, like it's so negative. The world is hard as it is. We need more love, more compassion, more strength, and that there is a movement of women coming forward here. I think that's why we are divinely connected, and how easy it is to have this conversation with you, like barely knowing you, is that there is a movement happening of where women are becoming more empowered. Can you imagine the impact that women can have on the world if we all truly stepped into our divine power?
I truly just had goosebumps, I think, for the last minute or something.
Yeah, for real.
Can only say hell yes.
Well, as if we're going to start wars. We haven't got time for that. It's like, if I heard a quote, if you want it to be spoken about, go to the man. But if you want something to be done about it, go to the woman. Like, it's true. So freaking true. And I feel like for such a long time, women have been put down. You've got this is a huge subject, by the way, coming in, but it's so true. And I want to awaken people here, is that you look at these beauty commercials and advertisements about makeup, and you have to look a certain way. You have to be a certain way. And it's like, where is that for the men? Where's the men? Shut up. Why is it all women enforced, making women feel like low and competitive against one another? There is a sisterhood coming that's going to heal the freaking world, one woman at a time. And that is going to cultivate the most amazing world that we need. The world needs healing, and women need to step up. So if you're listening to this and you think, oh, what's the point? Like, I'll benefit. But actually, when you benefit, when you step into your power, when you start to learn how to love yourself and step at that best version that you are truly thinking about and wishing for and calling for, because that's what you need. Imagine who that's going to ripple. The ripple effect is real. It's going to affect your children. They're going to love your vibe, your friendships, your family. Yes, there's hard movement through life transformation. It is a sadness because you are letting the old version of you die. And that's hard. That's like you going to your own funeral and being like, today we witnessed the death of the old version of me, you know, bon voyage. Here I am. Delete the old version of me. This is who I am now. And it's those that will stay with you and not. But there's a bigger movement here, like a huge movement coming. I see it.
Absolutely. You just deeply, deeply touched me. And it's funny because I just got reminded of that in Bali, I talked to a shaman and he was actually saying that, you know, he's learning as well from like way higher shaman who even work with like very, very powerful people in the whole world. And he said that there is right now a huge shift to like, it used to be men all the time dominating the world, which is obviously leading us to the world that we're having right now, which is filled with lots of sadness, a lot of hurt, like war, we're destroying nature. So obviously that is not working. And not even talking about how like hurt and we are inside, you know, it's also not working for us as individuals. Like, look at how many people are depressed, anxiety, all these mental health struggles. So obviously we need a solution for that. In my mind, we need a spiritual solution. And that even the shaman said, like it's this flip now to women getting to rise up and so on. And it will be more like, you know, we had this like huge male energy of like pushing, hustling, go harder, do. And this change is coming of more feeling our emotions, slowing down, connecting with Mother Nature. And I noticed on myself that on my personal healing journey, how these things, which if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I was like, what? Feeling my feelings? No, I don't want to do that. I'm productive. I need to, you know, and like connecting with nature. Like, yes, I love nature, but I don't need that for my well-being, whatever. It was so, you know, I was so in this male hustle. I just need to perform to feel good about myself. I was in that mentality too. And just within the 10 years of how much softer I got with myself and how much that healed my inner child, my heart, my broken parts, and how much more that makes me feel complete. And I think more and more people will realize that and put that into action. And that's how we can heal the truth, like truly heal the whole world. So,
well, we're brought into a masculine world. If you think about it, we are, as women, we are like, I don't know about you, but like when I was younger, you know, you'd have these men in clubs that would like pinch you and like, all right, baby. And like, I'd be saying, well, I've got a boyfriend. And they'd be like, yeah, it don't mean nothing though, does it? And I'm like, ew, this is nasty stuff. Like, because the men also need to heal. I'm not going to shit on the men here. Women are stepping up because we are amazing healers. We're amazing listeners, but there needs to be like, men aren't allowed to cry. Men aren't allowed to share their emotions. Men need to be healed. If we are letting men who are traumatized and in fear, which they don't see it, and that'll trigger them, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but girls being real, these men need to also heal and allow women to also take the stage. It's not about, it's like, it's a man's world. Honey, no, there are two people. We bring life into the world. I don't know who the hell. Like, I could go on to a whole thing about periods and stuff here right now. We have sacred duty here to be able to bring life into the world. And if that's the case that you can't as well, it's not the point. You are able to bring love, care, extreme, like, self-love to those around you and heal. Like, there needs to be a switch because, like you said, it's not working. And it's on its way, divinely on its way. And it's going to take time. Men and the whole world aren't used to that. As soon as a woman steps in power, woman, she doesn't know it. She's moody. She's cranky on her period. What? Come on. We get stuff done for a reason. We don't stabble and make no decisions. There's a reason why women are so powerful. And I think for men, they were afraid of that because they didn't know how on earth they would be able to compete. There's no competition here. We're all on the same freaking planet. Men, women alike, we can work in unity, but you must allow us to also take space for us to set our own standards. There is change. There is. And there has been, definitely with body image and how people perceive body image. But honestly, I'm so excited for it because it's exactly what this world needs.
Absolutely. Plus, we all, no matter if we're like by sex, male or female, we all have this male and female energy within us. And it's just that we all, no matter how like we're born in a human form, we all need to allow this female energy more. And that's, I think, the energy that will heal the world more.
Well, that's the co-creation, right? Like absolutely. The masculine and feminine, you must uniquely use both because without masculine, imagine it as like a glass. For example, the masculine is the glass, but the feminine is the water. But without the glass, the masculine, you're just going to be a pile of water on the floor like me. So, of course, we need both. I'm not saying here that you need to only have feminine. I love that you said that. All of us, regardless of gender, have feminine and masculine energy. It's combining them. What glass are you doing every day, and what flow are you bringing in as well? Because if you're just masculine, oh, dude, you're going to burn yourself out. It's exhausting. Like it's not foreseeable. But if you're only feminine, then nothing's getting done. It's too flowy. Like, where are we going with this? Like, there needs to be a combination of both. And that in itself is a sign that women and men need to come and work together. Like, all of us, all genders, all the things need to come forward together and heal the damn world, because it's sad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that's what we are here for. So thank you so much for sharing your message and your opinion about that, because I truly think like raising your voice and empowering others and like stepping into your own version of it, like that's what the world needs.
Absolutely.
I would like to talk regarding that topic about something that you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation. You mentioned about the coworkers that were very kind of toxic and mean to you, and that you had these sisterhood wounds. But then you had also female mentors and people around you that lifted you up and that helped you to become this version of yourself that you are today. What wounds did you experience, and how did you manage to heal them?
Oh, what a question. So to understand the wounds in sisterhood is there are different generations here. So for example, my mum's generation, the older generation, have had to battle through, sexism and war and all that. Oh my God. I feel so much love and respect for that generation who have not been able to speak allow their voice to be the case. Like, be a good wife, have kids. This is the roadmap you need to take. This generation, we're not doing that. There is a huge amount of women who don't want to have kids anymore, who don't want to do it. And that's okay. But then you get judged by the other generation. It's all these different types of generations. And when you understand that in itself, you start to have a lot more love and respect. So for me, like when I started my business, my mum was like, wait, you've quit your teaching job and you're going to do your own business. I was like, yeah. And she was like, the fear. That's not how we do it, right? That's not what we do. You must go to uni. I did all the uni things, guys. I did uni, I did college. I did 10 years of teaching. I got to the end and I was like, yeah, no. And they were like highest grades, amazing. They were sat in front of me like, you are the most insane teacher. We're so lucky to have you. And I was like, thank you. I'm not going to do it anymore. And to tell that older generation that you're going to do something different blows their minds. They don't get it. That's okay, because that's what they've been programmed. And the older generation from that, like my granddad, we were watching Strictly, 2 men dancing together. He just could not get his head around it, because that's a different generation of what he's learned. Ballroom dancing should be with a female and a male. It's not the case anymore. Like, the world is evolving and it's changing and it's shifting. And just because that's what they are so used to does not mean that's what you need to be acquired to as well. You get to choose what you believe and what you want for the world. So in terms of healing the sisterhood wound, when you recognize there are different beliefs and settings, it's easier to let go and not be so hurt by your mum being like, I want my grandchildren. Are you not going to have kids? Hurry up. You're 30. You need to have kids. And I'm like, yo, it's okay, mum. I see you. I get it. You had this. I can't imagine how you felt being pressurized and told by other people that you need to have and do this. It's like not even kids. When are you getting married? You got the job. Oh, when you getting, you guys are engaged. When are you getting married? When are you having kids? Oh gosh, can we not? Honestly, like I've had people ask me numerous times and I'm like, we don't need to speak about this. This is none of your business. And then the conversation goes to something else. They respect that. So, you don't need to answer to the older generations, but in terms of sisterhood wound and the healing side, I I allowed a lot of the disrespect. I didn't know how to set boundaries. So for me, I became the victim. I'd go home and I was like, so-and-so was so horrible to me today. She made a sly comment. Oh God, I just hate working with her. She just does nothing but this and she thinks she's better than me and all this, like, ugh, right? But for me, I needed to remove myself out of that situation and put myself with women who give a shit, who aren't not healed, who have their own triggers and belief systems, because that's not to do with me. I didn't know that. I was just there like, they're so horrible, poor me. Where was I to be able to stand up for myself and say, hey, so-and-so, actually, I didn't appreciate that comment. Would you mind in the near future? And I did start, when I came back, I started to embody that and it was good. It felt good. I started saying yes to things. So we were in the staff room and they were like, oh, who's going to be the minibus driver? And all the women, all these older women, extra responsibility. I'm not going to do that. I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it because wait, it's allowing these kids, because I worked in education, to go on a trip and I get to take them. There's a positive thing here. If you're afraid of being responsible, you're never going to do anything meaningful. So I would just stand up in front of them, even though I knew they all hated my guts because I was younger or whatever their insecurities were. That's you, not me. We give love. That was it. I wish I could go back and give them so much love and see them and just share some space, because that's exactly what I needed, to be in a space of women who, you know, so that's coaching, honey. That's coaching.
Absolutely. Wow. And your words of, if you're afraid of being responsible, you're never going to do something meaningful. Whoa, that's like a wisdom bomb, I swear. So thank you so much for this beautiful, like, nugget of wisdom.
Yeah, this is why I love doing podcasts, because it's like, even if you don't start putting yourself in an energy, and this is a great way for anyone listening, if you've never done life transformation, you're the beginner, right? Listen to podcasts, because that's still you sharing that same energy. You're still going to get those aha moments, those mic drops where something is going to come and be said and you're going to go, oh my God, I'm seen. Holy frick, that's so true. I didn't even think of it like that. And then you start to notice these things because you become conscious. It's like that awakening inside you, those small little things. I promise you down the line, you're going to be like, I'm so ready. Where's the cliff? I'm ready to jump. I'm so done with this old level life that I feel so depressed about. I want my next level life. I want to manifest the things that I want. We must let the old version of you die and let go in order for you to cultivate that and make that happen for yourself. You will not believe the things that I have created. From the girl who was having panic attacks in a really negative work environment, and I'm making like a 4-figure month in the first less than a year of my biz, helping other women step into their power whilst traveling 13 countries around the world in my dream apartment in the city I've always wanted. Sis, I tell you, don't waste time. Don't waste time. Do it, because it's worth every second of your life.
And like you said, we become the 5 people that we surround ourselves the most of. And if you are right now listening and you don't have these inspiring people around you, podcasts are just such a beautiful way to surround yourself with those people, because that's valid too. Like, our subconsciousness is getting filled with all these new beliefs and these new mindset shifts. And over time, you will attract physical people into your life who are like the new version of you. But until that, read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, be very, very aware of the content that you're consuming on Instagram. And that is one way how you can also get these 5 people around you without having them in the real world. And
yeah, that's so true. It's like we become what we believe.
Absolutely.
Your belief system cultivates everything, sweetie. So if you're feeling negative, think about it as that your beliefs create your thoughts, and those thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create your actions. So if you start to do the mindset and the life transformation, you find someone and you work and you build on that belief system, those beautiful thoughts are going to come in, those amazing feelings, and things are going to change that you want around you.
Absolutely.
So simple, but it's a process.
Yes.
Not
What
an
are you
overnight
doing
fix.
when you notice a negative belief? Because in my opinion or in my experience, mindset is one thing, and to see things from the right perspective. But like beliefs is something that is stored in our subconscious mind. So it's not as easy as flipping our perspective, because our beliefs, like, you know, they're like molecules all so tied to each other and so on. So when you notice that you have an like non-supportive belief popping up, what's your process to change that belief?
Brilliant question. Reframe. So instead of it taking over you, which by the way, it can, if you allow any space for that tiny little negative belief, honey, that's going to be your day. So reframing is, let's say, for example, nothing's happening at the gym. It's a waste of time. I'm not going to go. Reframe it. So what you can do is sit with your beliefs, write them down. So on one side, the negatives, I look like a piece of shit. The gym is a waste of time. Write it all down. I feel unworthy. I'm not loved. All the things, reframe them. What would be the opposite? The gym is a great space for me to be able to release stress. It's not about how I look. It's about movement and connecting to my body. I fucking love going to the gym. Write it down, reframe it, because that's very powerful. I had a client who was going to the gym and was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm literally at the gym, I'm lifting weights and I'm giving up. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh, because your brain is like just telling you to stop. So, you know, you need to listen and reframe it. So I said, next time it comes up, reframe. And he goes, I can do this. I'm actually more capable than I believe. Your mind will give up before your body. Your body can go for hours on days, but if that mind gives up, your body will follow. So it's like allowing the mind and body to connect together. But the reframing is incredibly powerful and should not be dabbled with at all. But that is a strategy that I use with myself, my clients. As soon as it says, you can't do this. Yes, I can. I'm scared I'm going to die. You're not going to die. You've got this. It's almost just the opposite. And it's the same. And they hold the same energy. But just which energy do you want to be a part of? Because the fear and scarcity and lack is exhausting. Like, let's be in the celebration. You won't always be able to do it. This is the hard part. You're going to be tired. There'll be days where it will take over. There's no magic twist here. There'll be days where you don't feel like reframing and you have a bad day. Honor that too. I've had so many clients who come to me and they go, do you have a bad day? Do you even have one bad day? And I'm like, yes. I'm human. I'll sit on the sofa. I'm like, you know what? I'm done for the day. I need to chill. I need to unwind, but I come back stronger the next day. You don't stay in that energy. You don't sit on the sofa all week. You just take some time out and then you go, right, you know what? Actually, fuck it. I have got this. And you just reframe. You come back to that space. Nobody is perfect. Even the best mindset coaches out there and the most amazing platforms and all the things, huge names, they have bad days too. They just don't share it.
Absolutely. And I think like even if you listen to the most powerful coaches or like the ones that actually do share their honest journey and so on, they all like our brain like just creates or our mind creates those thoughts. But it's about how long do we stay with this negative thought, or how fast are we shifting it to a positive one, to positive energy, and how much are we allowing this negative thought to kind of like completely get us all over us, or how much are we kind of like, as you said, okay, I hear you, but I choose to be my friend. So I choose to speak lovingly towards myself and to myself.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's really hard. But the most amazing part of this is the more the good you see, the more it'll be shown to you. It's science, honey. Like, that's not like some woo-woo here. This is science. The more shit you see, the more shit you're going to see. Your brain likes to be right. It likes facts. So if you're like, everything is awful, your brain's going to go, everything is awful. Wow, I'm going to show you all these things that are going wrong. But if you actually start to go, you know what, I'm so grateful for this shit. Wow, you know what, look where I'm at. Your brain goes, well, yeah, damn, you know, I'm going to show you some amazing shit, girl. Like, look at this amazing thing. And I'm like, yeah. And then that vibration, that frequency is going to come through. So like, it's amazing what you can do. Absolutely. How you can, honestly, it's mad about the power you can contain with yourself. It's just scary starting. But I
Yeah.
promise you it's worth every freaking penny, time, cent, dime, whatever it is. You cannot put a price on life transformation. If someone says, how much would you pay for life transformation? It'd be priceless. You're changing someone's entire life. So sometimes these coaches, they charge like huge amounts, but this is what I mean about finding someone that suits your need or want or desire of those things. You see yourself in them, and then I've had coaches that I've moved through and I don't want to go back to because they were a chapter for me. But then I'm seeing someone else, I'm like, she has something in her toolbox I don't have yet. I want that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, thank you for your honesty. That's beautiful. As the last question, I would like to ask you, for somebody listening who's also struggling with anxiety or panic attacks, I have no experience in that. So that is something that I'm not teaching at all because I don't know what it feels like. So from somebody who suffered from that, what advice do you have for that person?
That's a really good question. With my anxiety, came up from a lot of trauma. So I suffered with 4 types of different trauma. We won't go into that, but that's just a good way for you to understand why your body is going into fight or flight. That's what anxiety is that you feel unsafe. All this is happening. If your brain, this is what my brain used to be. Oh my God, like all the time. Of course you're going to have panic attacks. Of course it's going to be exhausting. Oh my gosh, they're exhausting. You have a panic attack and I can't function after them. They're so exhausting. So for me, I give so much love. I see whoever is maybe listening who has anxiety or panic attacks. You feel so alone. You feel like something's wrong with you. Like there's, everyone else isn't having them. So why am I? And all these things. I had to go through therapy to be able to make sense of my panic attacks. You need to make sense of where it's come from, where it's stemmed from, and being able to start to become more mindful. And meditation is a great place to start because it tones down that bullshit, high-end, high-intensity brain that needs to calm. It's your nervous system. Need to get back, need to regenerate, need to calm that nervous system down because that connects to your entire body. So if anyone's listening and they're like, I've had panic attacks for years and nothing's helped. I've tried everything. If you tried everything, you wouldn't have panic attacks anymore. You haven't tried everything. Don't bullshit yourself or me in this process because I've been there. And everyone will feel it and have situations from it differently. It's understanding how to not allow it to take over your life. I wouldn't go out. I couldn't go to restaurants. It was so bad. It was horrific. I would say no to things. Even if I wanted to go and I wanted to see my friends, I said no. It was too heavy to what if I have a panic attack in front of these people? What if this happens? Like all the fear, right? All that fear. And then what does that feed? The anxiety. So it's like a loose situation here. So my best advice to you is meditate. Highly recommend. DM me. I have a free meditation. Try it. There's no rule for you not to try something and give it a go. If there's a possibility it can cure these horrific feelings and emotions. And literally, I've been with my husband now for over 10 years. So he met me and experienced and he watched me have these panic attacks. And we did this quiz the other day with each other. I said, what would you say to my younger self? And he said, oh my God, meditate sooner. And I was like, oh snap. I did not expect that. But for him, he was like, oh my God, that was having an impact on him. Not only me, he didn't know what to do. He wasn't, I looked to him as my savior for such a long time. I was like, he will save me. That typical, princess, my prince will save me. No one's coming to this. No one can save you but yourself. Show up. That's the biggest thing. The biggest lesson I ever had was nobody in their right mind can save you. It's up to you to book that session. It's up to you to do that free meditation. It's up to you to cultivate that space for yourself. No one's doing it for you. No matter how much you feel like the victim, this isn't right for me and I'm not okay. You cultivate that. That's the hard one. They hate that. I would have hated that. If someone came to me and they were like, your anxiety and your negative thinking is because of you. And I'd be like, what? No way. You fight it, don't you? You fight it. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I do it? And it's, yeah.
And it's also absolutely empowering because you don't have to wait on anybody. You don't have to wait on your prince to arrive on the horse. You have the power. You can change it right now. And it's all within you. So yes, to hear that whatever is right now, if there's like stuff that you're not happy with, or that's like you're struggling with, that you kind of on a subconscious level created that is not nice to hear. That is not nice to digest. That is kind of like, there's of course a part that wants to refuse that information. But again, back to reframing, it also means that you are the powerful person, that you have this in charge. You can change that and nobody else. And that gives you the power to truly create the life and the person you want to have and be. So
yeah, I'm here to trigger as well, because our triggers are what needs healing. So if anyone is triggered by anything in this episode, yes, I've done my job. I am here to trigger you and get you to sit in a space where you're like, shit, you know, like, damn, I actually have some work that needs coming up. Anyone you're triggered by is a mirror reflected back at you. So yes, this is an empowering way that you get to face yourself, own your power, step into your power. It's like everyone says that, step into your power. It's coming home to yourself. Having that safe, strong structure that you can't wait to get home to, that's what it is. Deep down, it's not just stepping into your power, it's coming home to you, who you've always meant to be. That is a life worth living. You're not going to get to the end of your life and go, thank God I listened to all these other people and had all these fears and doubts and didn't take any steps in my life. Oh, I wish I had done that, but I didn't. Regret is heavy. Regret is so damn heavy. Trust me when I say this, you're going to thank yourself at the end of your life, because let's be real, we're not all here forever. We have an expiration date. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be a year. But the main thing is that you do what you want, what feels good to you. If you don't want it, don't have life transformation. Don't do it. That's your choice. But if you are looking and seeking for something more, that you know you are capable of more, holding more, being more, feeling so at home and happy with yourself, go for it. Totally go for it. Don't hold back, because it'll be the biggest mistake you ever make. I cannot imagine being that anxiety-ridden girl still in teaching, saying yes to everyone in a job that I hate. Like, what the fuck? No, we give love to her. We give love to that version of me, because she got me here. She said yes. She made the moves. I couldn't exist without her having the fear and going for it. So we give lots of love to those versions that we've moved through. But yeah.
Beautiful. Clarice, thank you so much. Thank you for shining your light. Thank you for being such an uplifting inspiration, for being so vibrant with all your colors, and to just put more colors into the world, and to share your wisdom and everything you learned, your journey. And just thank you so much for stepping into your light, and by doing so, just being a real role model for more women to do the same.
Thank you so much, Hannah. This has been so special. And if anyone wants to come and see the vibrancy, my business name is Outzilla. So you can honestly, you'll type it in Instagram and you go, there she is. You'll see it straight away. The pink and green wig comes up. But yes, come and connect with me. Come and do the free meditation. If it feels good to you, if it feels aligned and you want to try it, come and just DM me. I'll send it to you.
I will link everything in the show notes so the people can check out all the vibrancy and all the colors, and just enjoy your beautiful feet and your vibration that is going through all these videos, and that just truly enlightens everyone's day. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah.
Now, I would like to know from you, what was your biggest takeaway and how can you put it into action starting now? Leave a comment below or hop over to Instagram at HannahWiz_ and leave a comment under the post of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and never forget to shine your light.